Hello my friends, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to rate all the cockpits that I have reviewed in 2022 and 2023. It's a total of 32 cockpits. We have the rating going from S to D. There is one a cockpit which is in the S tier, and there is one cockpit of €1,000 that comes in the D tier. Without further ado, let's start with the Playseat challenge. It was the first review that I did of a cockpit, brought out in 2014, and it comes in the A tier. Why? Well, it is an extremely efficient foldable solution, reasonably stable, so yeah, it deserves to be in the A tier. Second one, the Race Room R3055, brought out in 2009. Now, I was not too impressed with the stability of the 3055, so I put this in the C tier. The next one, Oplite GTR S1, brought out in 2020. I was really pleasantly amazed with that one. A very sharp price, you got a nice bucket seat, very comfortable, so definitely A tier for me. Next one, Next Level Racing FGT, brought out in 2018. Tubular frame, very stable, but the seating area was really not good, so I will have to put this in the B tier. Next one, the Playseat Evolution, brought out in 2004. It's the oldest sim rig that I have reviewed so far. Really an icon. Unfortunately, for today's standard, it's just not. I can't recommend it in any case. So I will have to put this one in the C tier. Next one is our first S tier, the only one in this video, Playseat Trophy. So brought out in 2021, it has been really an amazing cockpit, very stable, very light, comfortable to be in, so it deserves to be in this S tier. Next one is the GT Omega Art, brought out in 2015, comes in the A tier. It is a very cheap sim rig. It's reasonably sturdy also, but what really was attractive at the moment that it was brought out and still now is the price. So certainly A tier for that one. Then we have the famous Q-Wear gaming seats. You guys, if you saw the review, well, there was not much of a review, but it's really a very bad cockpit. It's like the Playseat Evolution, but made it even worse. So definitely D tier for the Q-Wear gaming seats. Next one, the Next Level Racing Challenger, brought out in 2019. Now that was that famous Next Level Racing cockpit, so it was same like the FGT, but it had like the bar in the middle. Horrible mistake, D tier. Next one is the Playseat Revolution. It was a bit more of an evolution of the evolution, which had the bar in the middle going up, so it was a bit of a strange configuration. It was not bad, but it was not exceptionally good either, so I have to place it in the C tier. Next one, Oplite Nitro Kart, 2022 that it was brought out, and I will have to put this in the B tier. Why? I do think it is a very solid construction. It has also a pole in the middle, but it's very sturdy and it is very configurable also for the entire family. So yeah, B tier certainly. Next one, the Next Level Racing GT Lite, brought out in 2020. And it's a bit the same as the FGT Lite, which comes a bit later. So I will also have to place it in the C tier. Why? Because it's not foldable as it doesn't fold very well. Configuration is also very difficult to do. It doesn't particularly sit that comfortable. So yeah, C tier for me. Next one, the Obuto Ozone. Now this is the second oldest cockpit that I have on the list. It was a bit of a reaction to the Playseat Evolution, brought out in 2006. But yeah, I had some issues with the stability of it all, and the multi-function, so the 5 functions in one, it didn't really work as it should. So C tier for that one. So next one is the Wheel Stand Pro, brought out in 2008. Now that was also a very wobbly thing. It was easy to configure, but it really, it wasn't really not that good as a wheel stand, because if you had a bit of a force feedback, then it wobbled all over. So really not that good. D tier for this one also. The first extrusion profile that I have reviewed is the SimXPro X80, brought out in 2021, and I would put it in the B tier. It's at that moment it was very good, of course, but times evolve, and it is a very simple design. And also the wheelbase holder itself I had some issues with, so B tier. It's good, but it's not exceptional. So following the X80, we have the Trak Racer TR8 Pro, another tubular frame, brought out in 2022. Very nice design. I found it very sturdy, very configurable also, with the wheelbase holder that slided like this. Very nice. So I will also have to put this in the A tier. Next Level Racing Wheel Stand 2.0. I think this is the best wheel stand that I have tested so far, but it's still very pricey, I think, and very heavy, so I will have to put it in the A tier. Next one is the Next Level Racing GT Track, brought out in 2018. Very complete sim rig, but it had some issues. It was very pricey to start with, and the tubing and the design, it was not all that. So not bad, but okay. B tier. Next one is the Oplite Wheel Stand GT Pro, brought out in 2020. I really liked the value for the bang for buck for that one. So it is a very stable wheel stand and not too expensive either. So I will go with a tier 1 for that one. Next Level Racing FGT Lights. It's all the same with those foldable sim rigs of Next Level Racing. I really don't like them that much, because they just don't fold as they should. I mean, it's a foldable rig, that's like its main thing, and it really doesn't do it very well. And together with the configuration, it's just not that. And with configuration, I mean the user experience to configure it. It's not so easy to configure. So definitely tier C for that one. Then we come to my favorite item on the entire list, the Playseat Formula, brought out in 2010. And I put it in the D tier, and it has a reason, because, and this is the main reason actually, because it is so expensive. 1,000 euro, and you got like a sim rig that had like stickers on it. It was not even painted, the decals. I couldn't get a good position in it, so it was really, it's amazing that they even sold these play seats. Of course, 2010 when it came out, there was not that much choice as there is now, but it's, for me, reviewing it now or rating it now, really absurd, and it really deserves to be in tier D. Next one is the GT Omega Prime Lite, another extrusion profile, brought out in 2023. I was really amazed with that one. Very good pricing. Also the configuration of the wheelbase holder, very nice. So I will have to put that one in tier A. The next one that we have is the Next Level Racing Wheel Stand V1. Now I was a little bit more disappointed in that one. It was not as sturdy as the V2. It looked nice with the plate that they had there, very nice, but that was all that it had going for it. So I will give it, or I will put it in the C tier. Next one is a Playseat Challenge ActiveFit. Now that wasn't really that much of a difference with the original Playseat Challenge that there was, except for the fabric that they used. But well, since I put the first one in A, I have to put this one also in A, because the price didn't really change, and the fabric, I think it was an improvement to the original Alcantara. So I will put it in A. Next one, GT Omega Titan tubular frame, also a very good cockpit, nice pricing, sturdy also, brought out in 2020. I will have to put this one also in A tier. Next one is the SimLab GT1 Evo. Now this will spark some controversy. I know some guys will be mad at me for putting it in the B tier, but this sim rig has come out in 2018 and it barely changed from that moment on. So there is, it's called Evo, but there is not much Evo going on with the GT1. It's a very sturdy sim rig, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it just misses something. It has no aesthetics, it has no special features, it's just a very plain extrusion profile. Now there's not necessarily something wrong with it, but for me it's just, it belongs in the B tier. Next one, another SimLab, the SimLab RSeat, brought out in 2021. Phenomenal design with the nice accent that it had, and very nice accent colors in orange. A very beautiful rig, very heavy rig, all that you want, but very expensive, and to be honest, the configuration was not all that either, so B tier for that one also. Then I went to RSeat, so there is the RSeat RS1, brought out in 2013. And I have to place it in the C tier. It has like the single arm, the cockpit, and well, it just had a lot of flex in it. And for configuration, it was not all that either. It looked good, for sure. It was heavy also. The seat was phenomenal, but also quite expensive. So yeah, I think C tier is warranted for the RS1. So then I went to the RSeat S1, brought out in 2018, and I put that one in the B tier. Why? Because it had like the double arms, the double carrying arms for the wheelbase, and well, it also looked phenomenal with the red that I had. It was, you saw that they put a lot of work in it. It was quite expensive also, but I think yeah, it really looked nice, and it felt nice and premium also. So certainly there, B tier. Next one, another extrusion profile rig, the Trak Racer TR80 Lite, brought out in 2023, so not that old. And that one really stood out to me because yeah, it was a normal design for an extrusion profile rig. You got the shifter holders, so options. It had some printed TR logo on it. It had red accents, and it was priced very reasonable. So I will put this also in the A tier. Still to this day, I think it is really worthy of being in there. Next one is another next level racing sim rig, the GT Lite Pro, brought out in 2023. Now that one, it still had the horrible configuration, but it was already a bit more comfortable to sit in, this foldable seat. So I will put it in the B tier. And last one that I reviewed in 2023 was the Playseat Challenge X, brought out also in 2023, and Challenge X had some improvements for the pedal base, and the design was also very nice, but of course there were some issues still with the wheelbase holder, so that's why I can't put it in S tier but rather in the A tier. That was it. So the first 32 sim rigs that I have reviewed. The next video, which will span the years 2024 up until now, will come next week normally. So subscribe if you don't want to miss that one. I hope you had something from this video, and I will see you all next one. Bye bye.